You're about to listen to an excerpt of Secret City Geek Lab broadcast on KTSTFM.com every Wednesday at 7 o'clock p.m. For more news, reviews, and interviews from the world of geek, visit the Geek Lab at secretcitycomedy.com/geeklab or like us on Facebook at facebook.com/secretcity. Enjoy the show.
The whole family. I mean, there's something that everybody loves that nobody gets tired of it. They all adore it. And it's especially, it's a good thing to introduce to the children. It's something they never forget. When they grow up, they still love the Muppets.
Working with James is great. He is an endless source of positive energy. I don't think I've ever worked with a director who laughs as much as he does. And he's happy to laugh just as often at other people's jokes as his own, and at other people's films as his own. It's really great to play a piece of music for him in my studio and to really only hear him. I'm not generally staring at him when I'm playing him music. I'm looking up at the screen. But I just hear this laughter, you know, like he's enjoying his movie in a new way now with my music, that sort of thing. It's really a great quality that he has. For me, honestly, the most rewarding scenes to work on are the emotional ones. You know, the love themes, the sad themes. We introduce a new theme for Kermit here that's also a little bit old-fashioned, like his love theme for Piggy. That is one of my favorites, and you get to hear it lots of different ways. Really, really intimate, and also really, really big and epic. And I would say that's probably my favorite bit of music from this film.
James, Bobin and I have worked together for several years now, and we have a great shorthand and an understanding. And most importantly, we share a sense of humour. That's just the secret I've found to any creative comedy work. And maybe dramatic people share a sense of drama, but he can give me an idea, and then I'll work on it, and I give it back, and we kind of push each other and we both get to a better place, you know. And I really enjoy working with him. He's great. You know, he's quite sort of set in his ways, but that's good for a director. Tina Fey was just such a pleasure to work with. We recorded in this room here. She came in, and it's funny working with actors now because some of them know Flight of the Conchords and have seen the TV show that I did, and it's weird, you sort of know each other, but you've never met each other, you know. So she came in and she was quite nervous, and I was quite shy because I'm a big fan of hers. So I was like, how's it going? And it was quite nice actually, because we just gently, like, you know, I played the piano and I sang the song to her, and you know, she sort of sang so quietly. It's like, you know, and then I'd be like, what do you sing? You sing, you have a go. I'll just play the piano, and got her to sing more, and you know, started to hear what her voice is like, because it's hard knowing what actors can do. You know, you can see their acting work, but not many actors have records you can listen to. Or what I tend to do is, you know, Google them to see if they've got any clips of them singing, because most actors who can sing love it, and they've done it on some chat show. They've forced it into their, you know, they love it. So, but Tina, I couldn't find much singing. There were a few comedy parts of her singing silly things on SNL. Anyway, just rambling about that. But Tina had a great voice, and she wasn't incredibly confident at singing, but we found the right key for her, and then we recorded here in Los Angeles, then we recorded in London again, and then we recorded again back in LA in post-production. And during that time, which is the course of about 6 months, 6 or 8 months, she started to know the song more and didn't need to think about it, and she'd become more comfortable with the strange Russian accent that she was doing. And so the final take was she showed up in August and one morning and just knocked it out of the park. Like, I love her final vocal take is great. For this film, you gave me a script that had about, I don't know, probably 9.
Yeah, maybe 9 or 10 songs moments, in the script, just an idea of what it could be, or just a funny title. And that's often the start of a song, is the thing that I find amusing in the title. Sometimes they don't work, sometimes they do. And then it's that thing that once we have the 10 ideas, then it's really up to Bret as to which ones kind of speak to him and the ones that he thinks make musical sense. But the key for me is always to try and have the songs move the story along a little bit, where if, like, the songs should be imparting knowledge about the story. That really helps, because otherwise it does tend to somehow take you out of the film. So Bret's brilliant, obviously lyrically, so useful that he needs to kind of tell a story and be funny at the same time, which is a great challenge, but he pulls it off with aplomb every time. So, you know, I just kind of have initial thoughts about what they could be, and then Bret takes it to the next level kind of thing. Yeah,
turn it into a bigger song, but it's best when, I think it works best when, like you say, when the original idea is a funny idea.
Yeah, inherently.
Yeah, like, we're doing a sequel. It was just a great idea for a song, because it's just everyone knows that sequels aren't that good, and just to openly admit that at the top of the film, just sort of let everyone, it relaxes the audience into knowing, like, we know what's going on here.
I had one line I really wanted to put in, but we never worked it out, which is that sequels, they cost twice as much and they're half as good.
Yeah,
which I thought was a really funny line, but very hard to work in the meter for that, I understand. So
that's true. Yeah, James's ideas don't always rhyme.
No, that's one issue. That's one issue. That's true.
But then if they did, he wouldn't need me.
Not true. Not true.
Because all these songs have to be written before they film, and not just be written; they need to be pretty much fully recorded by the actors doing them, with arrangements, so that when they're shooting the video, they know what's happening in the song. And you know, James gets busier and busier and moved to London to get ready to shoot, and I was in New Zealand, and I get these emails like, what's happening with that verse? Have we got that verse? Because I need to plan this video, because there's a whole team of art department waiting to build something, right?
Because obviously from my description of the song, which often wouldn't be part of the script, I'd make it in the script it'd just be a strap line for the song, and it'd be a very brief description of what the song would be. But off that would be like a 4-page Word document telling you what the song would be visually. So the art department gets probably very late and always freak out, going, "What is this? Where does this come from?"
I love that sort of meeting with the production meetings. The art departments, they go, when are you going to tell us what we've got to build for this song? What's it going to be? And then suddenly you're like, I want a disco club. And
tomorrow.
Yeah, it's great.
And it worked out. It was all right.
Awesome.
Luckily, they were brilliant.
Awesome.
This time around, we have Vivienne Westwood is making some of her outfits, and I can tell for them. I think they said I was actually at the design in their office Friday, and they said once a year we have one difficult client, and this year this is it. And you know, they're talking about Miss Piggy. My inspiration is, you know, 30s, 40s, old Hollywood, and it doesn't necessarily have to be all Hollywood, but just 30s and 40s in general. You know, just that very classic beauty. And, you know, and like I say, James is also very keen on that era. So, you know, I try to keep it consistently that way. And you know, for this, obviously, because you're on a European tour, we've sort of tried to, Miss Piggy would be the kind of person, when she is in Spain, she would dress for the occasion. She would dress. And so we've tried to keep it color, keeping her in the reds and black for Spain, keeping her in the blues and, you know, a bit of a colder colors in Berlin, keeping her in the greens. And, you know, so because she is the type of person that would dress for, you know, what's appropriate for the different countries.
I've been a big fan, and my little daughter is a big fan of the first one, the first theatrical film. And I got the request. My agent called me and I said, sure, I'm going to be in it. It's going to be fun. It's fun to act with Kermit.
here's a list of all the stuff you have to get used to in the gulag. Concrete walls, barbed wire, snipers, scary, menacing prisoners, cruel, hard labor, screaming wardens, constant power struggles, constant, and our yearly prisoner musical review show. Now, I enjoy all the other stuff, but the last one is my favorite. The prisoner musical review show. That's where I shine. It's great. It's great. The choreographer Fran and you know the other.
Dale, they're awesome, man. It's like
everyone else that everyone we're dancing with. They were already into doing it. And I remember when we came in for rehearsal, like they were just serious as heart attacks about this dancing. So, but they made it fun. They were just open. They were, you know, they knew we were.
Yeah. It wasn't like, oh God, you know, these guys don't know what they're doing, because I think they knew we weren't dancers, you know, but. Everybody helped us. Everybody's helped us. Everybody's been real warm. I have to say, I started in the business in 1985. This has been the most absolute fun set I've ever been on. It's just been hilarious, you know. It's just been awesome. And
getting to work with the Muppets again, they did Raw and they did the Tribute to the Troops show, but now working on their side in the movie is amazing. Just they're completely professional, of course. They couldn't be more professional and just welcoming and very gracious of everything. So it's great.
It's also a huge pleasure to work with Tina Fey as well. She's just great, and she's very funny as Nadya, who runs the gulag. Has a little bit of a crush on Kermit the Frog, and doesn't let me get away with anything. Like if only there were no Nadya, Escapo would finally escape. Tina Fey's got a lot to answer for.
I'm looking out of my window on a typical German Strasse, and I see the frog that's in the poster on the wall, who is wanted. He's an evil frog, and he needs to be eradicated from the face of the universe, and it is my job as a humble German Hausfrau, washerwoman, to inform. And I'm high enough off the ground for it not to be dangerous to me to do that. So I shout to the crowd in the street that here he is. I'm an informer, a bad person. I would never inform on Kermit. I'd never do that.
It's such an honour to be involved and come in and say one line. It just feels amazing. And to get to work with Sam the Eagle, who is my acting hero, is possibly my greatest day in the sunshine.
the prison musical review is really important to us. It allows us to show another side of us, you know, not the scary, stabby part. I'm not talking about Constantine. That frog scares me. There's no way I'm telling you about all the criminal contacts he has on the outside. And the dastardly plans that he carries out. And the lengths that he'll go to. No way, man. I ain't telling you, because that would ruin the movie that we're all starring in.
Yeah, I'm sharing the screen with Pepe the Prawn. He's charismatic. He's kind of wild, so, you know, it should be fun. Being in the Muppet movie is an incredible honor, you know, just growing up, watching the Muppets, and, you know, there's things that you think that you'll achieve in life. This is definitely a huge achievement just from being a kid and just always watching the Muppets, so it's great.
Sorry to say that I don't have a favorite Muppet, and it's a good thing. It's like choosing something in my own family. I don't have a favorite. We all mean something. But Kermit is so cute. He's so cute, and you know, Frog has been my lucky charm all my life, so I have a little crush on Kermit. But I love Miss Piggy too. She's wonderful, and she's a big heart, and she's so sensitive, and she's beautiful. Today I've been here for a few hours, and it's beyond the honor. It's been fun. It's been a discovery for me to be working with Muppets for the first time, really, and to realize how alive they are, their own personalities.
Still a diva. I think it's actually gotten worse. I mean, the trailer gets bigger. It takes longer for hair and makeup. It takes longer to get her out of her trailer. The craft service budget has increased because of the food demands. It's, you know, I'm responsible for the budget, and I'm not sure I actually increased that particular section enough. I mean, if we do this again, I'll know that next time I'll have to allow more on the craft service and food budget. He enjoys his work, he loves coming to work, and it's true. Who's always laughing on set? It's James. James loves to laugh, and he'll laugh at every take, the same joke over and over, because he genuinely loves what he's doing. And that, I think, permeates throughout the crew, throughout the cast, and it's infectious. Everybody gets involved in that, and, you know, truly it's a unique experience to work on a Muppet film, because it is generally a very happy set, because, come on, you're working with the Muppets.
We're lucky enough to have landed Bret McKenzie again, who obviously went on and won the Oscar for Man and Muppet in the last movie. And Bret he's incredibly talented, obviously. But the other great thing about him is, in the same way that James isn't wedded to any one specific time period or style in the movie, Bret has an eclectic music range and can kind of do anything. And that's going to showcase itself in this movie too. We've got old style, MGM studio style musical numbers. We've got music that kind of runs the gamut. So he's overseeing all the music, and he's writing all the original songs. And I think people are going to be kind of astounded by not only the range, but just by how amazingly catchy some of them are. Ricky has an amazing dry wit and an amazing sense of saying something that might not otherwise be funny, but it ends up being hysterically funny because it's coming out of his mouth. So the character is almost tailor-made for him, in that he's also playing secondary to Constantine, who's Kermit's doppelganger. So he's playing second fiddle to the world's greatest criminal in the world, who happens to be a frog. So, you know, when Ricky read the script, and we'd always said Ricky Gervais would be so unbelievably funny for this role. When Ricky read the script himself, he said to me, and he said to James, "I am perfect for this role. I know exactly how to do this." And he's right. He's playing the character with one part salesmanship, one part smarm, one part fear, and one part confidence. And it's just all blending so perfectly together.
a very different movie tonally to the first one, I think. I mean, I think obviously we have a lot of emotion still in there in terms of the story, but it feels to me this is more of an out-and-out comedy caper movie. It's a very strange kind of hybrid because for me it feels like an action comedy musical. And there aren't many of those around. I think we may have invented that genre, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure there aren't many action comedy musicals. And I thought it'd be fun, this being more of an out-and-out caper, if the bad guy this time was slightly more tongue-in-cheek and slightly more old-school, capery kind of bad guy. He was a bad guy, but you kind of liked him because he's such an idiot. And I thought the perfect person for this, having seen him actually initially on Sesame Street talking to Elmo for a long time and being very funny, was Ricky Gervais, who is a friend of mine and who I've known for a long time and is just one of the funniest people I've ever met. And I thought he's incredibly sharp and loves puppets. He loves the Muppets. He never stops talking about Muppets. Her character is called Nadya, and she has this incredibly stern exterior, but once she gets to know her, she's actually quite soft, and she really loves Kermit, and she loves Broadway and singing and dancing. And so the idea was that, obviously Kermit changes the Gulag from being this kind of tough place to being a place where people embrace dance and ballet and music and comedy. Well, again, like most Muppet jokes, it's an old joke, which is the idea that Europe and America don't get on, basically. That Sam is this incredibly stiff CIA patriot and believes America is the best #1 country in the entire world and that everyone else is inferior. And Jean is a very typical laid-back European who has, tiny coffee cups and goes to sleep at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and doesn't do much work. So these are very old stereotypes. But of course, it makes a very good dynamic between the two of them because they're constantly battering and, they instantly don't like each other. One of the crux points of the whole film is when Kermit is swapped out for Constantine. Now, the key difference between Constantine and Kermit is that Constantine has a mole. That's it. Constantine looks pretty much exactly like Kermit, apart from a mole just here. So when Constantine basically kidnaps Kermit, he sticks a mole in Kermit's face whilst covering his own mole up. So instantly, Constantine is Kermit and Kermit is Constantine. Constantine goes to meet the Muppets at the theatre, and Kermit is taken to jail in Russia. So yeah, be careful for moles. Very, very, very dangerous. Very dangerous.
That's what's so fantastic about the Muppets. The guys you see on screen, those are the guys in real life. I mean, Kermit's always who he is. That's why he's such a great role model. He's just this, he's like this hugely famous frog. And the Electric Mayhem, the greatest rock band in the world, those guys they're just regular guys. They're just like you'd expect them to be. So they're always off jamming together. And, Kermit's just being Kermit, keeping us all together. Although I will say that Kermit hasn't been around as much. I haven't really been working with him yet because we haven't shot the scenes that take place in the Gulag. So the scenes we've been shooting are all with Constantine, who, quite frankly, gives me the willies. Is it getting colder in here? Maybe we shouldn't talk about Constantine so much. More singing and dancing, more great songs by the wonderful, talented Bret McKenzie, and sung by the amazingly wonderful, talented Muppets. I don't actually get to sing a song myself in this as a solo in this film, but I give some of the other guys a turn, and just the music is incredible. People, if they liked the music in our last movie, they're going to love it in this film. I think audiences are going to love this film. It has got so much to recommend it. You've got incredible songs. You've got these huge song and dance numbers. You've got action, adventure, explosions. You've got jumping from moving trains. You've got intrigue, espionage. You've got the crown jewels. You've got exotic locations. God, I can't wait to see this film. Woo! Whoa, I say. Ow! Sorry, I get a little carried away when talking about another Muppet movie. Phew!
Well, one of my favorite parts of the film that I got to do was the running of the bulls, and Salma Hayek worked with me on that. It was really fantastic, although she's a little bit the worse for wear. But she's healing. Are you kidding? Tensions? There's no tensions between the Muppets, except for one. You know, that's just a given. You know, and I can't mention her name. You know, other than to say that she has bristles. Oh, it's always great to work with Kermit. He's just such a good collaborator. He draws the best out of you. You know, you feel like you're giving and he deserves it.
Well, Kermit and I have been having an ongoing conversation for a very long time now about how to raise the culture and dignity of the Muppets. I've decided that it is a pointless cause. Yes, I play an American, more specifically, a representative of America, and its greatest export, counterintelligence. Yes, I play a CIA officer. I just have to complain about one thing, and that is the actor that I have to play opposite of. Oh, he's this Frenchman named Til Burrell. Oh, he is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot tell you the things that come out of his mouth. I can't understand him half the time. What is that? He's not French? He's American? Why does he speak in that funny French accent? He's acting? Acting. He's acting like a nincompoop, that's what he's doing.
The Muppets go on an international tour. Yeah, we see the world. And it's so we get to go to London, and we get to go to Germany, and or else we go Spain. So, you know, it's win-win. We're doing a movie and getting to travel. Oh, well, you know, without Kermit, we wouldn't get anything done. You know, Kermit's kind of like he's kind of like the glue that holds us all together. He's like the green froggy glue that holds all the Muppets together, you know? Well, you know, the movie is everything. It's got comedy, it's got music, it's got drama, it's got action, adventure, and it's got Ricky Gervais. It's pretty good. Tina Fey, Til Burrell. I know, and Miss Piggy. I wish she wouldn't stand over my shoulder.
What's it like working with the human cast? You mean like Til Burrell, Tina Fey, Ricky Gervais? Ricky Gervais is human, right? Yes, well, I actually prefer working with humans. Yes, or at least other actors with opposable thumbs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they can open doors by themselves, they can pick up props. It just makes life a lot easier. I don't care if Tina Fey has a dozen Emmys and half a dozen Golden Globes and SAG Award too, huh? Yeah. I don't care. I've got at least twice as many awards as she does. I may get mine at the thrift shop, but they're mine. I bought them. Working with Kermit is always a joy. Although on this movie he is a bit moody. Yeah. One day he'll be his normal, soft-spoken, gentle self, and the next he'll be barking out orders and acting like he's I don't know, like an evil villain. I have done a lot of research in preparation for shooting this movie in London. Yeah, I went online and looked up all the good restaurants to go to, all the good shopping, booked us on all the good tours. Yeah, this weekend Kermit and I are going to go to Stonehenge. Yes, very romantic. The best advice I can give anyone who wants to be an actress like moi is to go see this movie as many times as you can afford. Yeah, and study it very closely, and but most importantly, go see it and pay full price.
Constantine is sort of the world's most famous villain, and he's very notorious, which means people write notes about him. And he's kind of the bad guy of the movie. He speaks with this strange sort of mid-European accent, nothing at all like me. He's a little like me. You will notice his collar is a bit different. He's a little stubbier, slight shade of green difference. But actually, he's a little slimier than I am. I have had such a great time working with our human guest stars. And it's always fun for me because they're so big. You know, they're big stars and they're much bigger than me. I mean, Ricky Gervais. How can you beat working with Ricky Gervais? He's always in a good mood, always silly, bringing fun stuff. And I think we will probably nominate him to be an honorary Muppet at the end of the film. That's been wonderful. And I'm so looking forward to working with Tina Fey. She's my old pal. You know, I was lucky enough to be asked to do a guest spot on 30 Rock at the end of their last season. And we go way back to Saturday Night Live. As most of my fans know, I am playing the part of Kermit the Frog. It is a role I was born to play. It's kind of an expansion on my own character. As you will note, I'm really not wearing any costume at all. It makes it very easy on the budget. I get my collar dry cleaned about twice a week. I have a couple of them. You know, stuff like that. Now, in terms of makeup, it does take some time in the mornings. I have to take the shine off, you know, being a frog. It can be a problem with all the lights. I reflect a lot of light. So, you know, just dull down the old wetness, keep the moisture to a minimum, and move forward. The whole gang is here. Everyone who could be here is. Fozzie Bear, my old pal's here. You know, Fozzie and I have known each other for about 30 years since The Muppet Show. And, of course, we couldn't do a Muppet film without Fozzie. And of course, Scooter's here. You know, he's helping out as always with his clipboard and trying to help me stay organized, both on camera as who he is and behind the scenes, too. The great Gonzo's on hand. He's right here with us. He's got all of his chickens, including Camilla is here. And of course, Miss Piggy's here, and she's looking lovely. She changes costumes 4 times every scene, which can be tough on the budget, but she looks beautiful. I should also say for all the fans of our last movie, Walter's back. Walter is now just a part of our Muppet gang, and he's very helpful to the plot of the story, moving the plot along. And all the guys are with us, and it should make a wonderful film.
I am world's most dangerous frog. Yes, I escaped from Gulag and put Kermit Frog in my place. Because I am very clever. I use number 2 to help me find crown jewels. We fool the Muppets into thinking I am Kermit Frog. And I cannot tell you the rest. You'll have to wait to see movie, yes? Am I friends with Muppets? No, I am here to fool them. The one that I fool the most is the pig. You know which one I speak of? The Piggy. Oink oink. You know her, yes? Yes, I fool her most. I flip over other one named Scooter. Flip him. He deserve it. He touched me. I have worked with number 2. Yes, his name is... it will come to me. Let me... I only know him as number 2. He's okay. He is very big movie star, yes? Yes, I am number 1. Liotta and Danny Trejo are teddy bears. I go up to them on first day of shooting. I give them big bear hug. I say, come here, little Danny Trejo. Come here, little Liotta. Yes. And then I bend them to my ways. That is what being number 1 is all about. You see? Ah, Tina Fey, yes. Tina Fey, I like, yes. She has little taser gun that I enjoy from time to time.
I'm a huge fan of the Muppets in general, and I was approached about playing the part, and I don't know, the as a kid growing up, as an adult, the Muppets really kind of represented the best of both worlds. It being that it's so sweet and so kind of wholesome, but also I just think it's so funny. So I was just thrilled to be asked. It's really been one of the most fun experiences that I've ever had. James Bobin, the director, and Nick Stoller, who wrote the script, it's a hilarious script. And I love the first film, so I mean, it's just been nothing but laughs, and I'm doing a ridiculous French accent. James and Nick Stoller, I mean, they wrote this as a kind of like classic America versus Europe thing. So most of the jokes are based on, old stereotypes about both. But that as the Frenchman, I'm constantly, taking like 6-hour lunches, and at the drop of a hat, I'm going on vacation, and I drink coffee out of a thing that's about this big, and I drive a car that's about this big, which I think is needlessly spacious. And Sam is, drinking big gulp coffees and thinks I'm lazy, and but it's pretty fun because as the film goes on, they actually grow to like each other and kind of become inseparable. It's been incredibly fun, and it's almost distracting in that it's so amazing what they do. I'm always kind of taken aback by their technical proficiency. They're incredibly creative guys. I don't know if you've chatted with them yet, but they're really funny, smart guys. It's been good working with Sam. I find some elements of Sam to be a little bit suspicious. For one, I've never seen him fly, and he purports to be an eagle, and I guess I just wonder why you'd even put it in your name. You're really kind of flaunting it at that point. In fact, if you're gonna maybe just say Sam the feathered investigator instead of Sam the eagle, I feel like you're asking me to challenge you to fly. It was just so fun. Bret McKenzie, the writer of the music and the song, he's just a genius. I'm just stunned at how charming and funny the songs are, and how fun they are to do. And no, I had a blast.
I play a Russian prison warden named Nadya, who is extremely tough, but also loves entertainment and loves Broadway. And so she's been in charge of the prison review here for years. And when Kermit is wrongly imprisoned here in the Russian Gulag, she's very excited to force him to help her make the show good. Kermit bears an unbelievable resemblance to the world's most dangerous frog by the name of Constantine. The only difference is that Constantine is evil and he has a mole right here. But Constantine sort of kidnaps Kermit and glues a mole on him, and thereby causing Kermit to be arrested in his place. Kermit is brought to the Gulag because we think he's Constantine, because they look exactly alike. Meanwhile, that frees up Constantine to go around the world trying to steal the world's most famous jewels. My character is in love with Kermit, which is very easy to play because Kermit is adorable and very smart and talented and very warm and friendly. In fact, he's the kind of character that it's, you know, he's just really being friendly, but it's easy to mistake that he is also in love with you back. He's not. He's not in love with you back. He loves Miss Piggy. Miss Piggy, like the truly talented divas of the world, your Mariah Careys, your Barbra Streisands, when there's real talent there, they're very nice. It's, you know what I mean? So she's so legit that she doesn't really have to prove anything. She did make me change my costume one day because it was the color of some soup that she was eating, and she didn't want it to steal focus from her soup. But other than that, very nice, very nice. I think the comedy of the Muppets appeals to everybody because the Muppets are so funny, and there's always like a weird little detail in the corner that you can catch your eye. I think the Muppets generally carry the humans in everything they do. They're generally the most talented people on the screen. Well, it has an incredible plot. It is a caper movie. It is a heist movie. It has core relationships that you're invested in. Kermit, Piggy, our new friend Walter, and it has a lot of Russian accents, each and every one completely different. Jermaine's does not sound like mine. Mine does not sound like anyone else's. So that's interesting.
And Constantine.
Yes.
He looks like Kermit, but he's got a mole, which he covers up to infiltrate the Muppets.
That's right.
You fool them all, don't you?
I do. I have very good Kermit imitation.
Yeah, well, he's Russian, obviously, you can tell. He's a Russian. You're from Russia, aren't you, originally?
Yes, I am Moscow.
Yeah, right. But he has to do an impression of Kermit. I mean, he's got Kermit's accent off. Do
You want
Kermit.
me to try?
Yeah.
Just give me a minute.
Yeah.
Hello, Kermit the Frog here.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Hi.
You just think, because he looks, I mean, on the face of it, he's got so much in common with Kermit anyway.
Yes.
Particularly, I mean, evolutionary speaking.
Yes.
You're right. You're right there.
Yes, we're both froggies.
You're both frogs. Yeah.
Yes.
I love this guy. I love him. If I'm being honest, I'll deny this.
Yes.
If you ever bring this up.
Of course.
But I like him a lot more than Kermit.
So do I. They like me a lot more
You've
than
got a little
Kermit.
bit more. Do you know what I mean?
You
There's
have
a
a
little
little
bit.
edge to me.
Yeah. You've got a bad guy, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a bad guy.
Yeah. People love bad guys, don't they?
I do. No, I do not like them.
No. They're a little bit too. Some of them are a little bit. I mean, Piggy, she's got a little edge, hasn't she? She's got a little diva.
Mm-hmm.
The hair as well, just all this.
Oh,
all
everything
about the
with
hair.
her is a big production number.
Yeah, I know. Kermit, a little bit
I did
too.
not see him.
Bit too goody-goody.
He is, but you know, he is a very famous frog.
He is a frog. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's probably the most famous frog in the world.
Well, yes.
I can't think of.
I am more world's most dangerous frog.
You're the world's most dangerous frog.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He is
And
world's
when,
most...
and when you consider there are some frogs that have got enough poison in them to kill 1,000 men, think how dangerous that makes you. You're more dangerous than those
I am
frogs.
more dangerous than those frogs.
You're not poisonous.
No.
But you're just a master criminal.
Yes.
I read the script and I thought, this is tailor-made for me. Then I found out it actually was. I was, I was very, very flattered. I've been a fan of the Muppets for about 35 years. I used to watch them Sunday afternoons, I think about 5:30. And I remember I had older brothers and sisters, and they used to watch it and laugh. And I was young, but I sort of realised it was on two levels. It was good for adults. And I remember John Cleese being a guest and doing his thing. And I thought, okay, this is cool. This is a cool thing to like. A Muppet Christmas Carol, I watch it every year, sometimes twice a year around Christmas. It's one of my favourite films. I don't just mean one of my favourite family films or kids films, I mean it's one of the best films ever. And I think we're making something special, aren't we?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes, it will be a family classic.
It is on sort of two levels. There's jokes for mums and dads, but I mean, I remember how much I absolutely loved the Muppets when I was a kid, so I think it's going to be great. And it's not a knockabout funny little... This is a big production. This is a big Hollywood movie. The sets are amazing. You know, the effects are great. The comedy's there. It's a really funny story. It's deconstructed a bit, but then you get the real thing as well. You do get the amazing caper plots and all your favourite Muppets. And this guy.
Yes.
New frog on the block.
Mm-hmm.
I've known James for a while, actually. I did some of my first TV with him. He worked on Meet Ricky Gervais, which was like a spoof chat show I did. One of my first things back in, I think, 1999. He's great. He's smart and chilled out. He doesn't get stressed, which allows us to get stressed, which is good. Someone's got to remain calm. No, he's very, very calm and influenced. He understands comedy. He's a great director. He sees the bigger picture. I can't speak highly enough of James. Genuinely, he's a nice bloke.
This was a production of Secret City Geek Lab on KTSTFM.com. We broadcast every Wednesday at 7 o'clock p.m. Visit the Geek Lab at secretcitycomedy.com/geeklab or like us on Facebook at facebook.com/secretcity.